Hello, everybody. I believe we are live. Now, if we have sound and all that other fun stuff, we can get going. Part one here is going to be pretty quick. It's not going to be more than an hour. So, what are we working on? Well, let's take a look. Now, let me get some paints out of the way here. Now, I did a couple things to kind of just speed things up. We've got a lot of things to paint, and I definitely want to make sure that I get. I want to do this series in about 4, maybe 5 parts. And we're going to take the box, and I'm doing all the extra stuff that you were able to get at. Hold on, let me make sure. Larissa says the sound is a little quiet. How can the sound be a little quiet? All right, let's take a look. 1, 2, 3. No, it's blasting on this side. So, I got to turn that down. That's what I got to do. There we go. And let's make sure that's down. That's down. Perfect. Let me take this out. That's perfect. And we should be good, I think. I'll crank this up on this side. There we go. And, oh my God. Hold on, we'll get this. As you know, it's definitely going to be one of those streams where every doggone thing that walks by in the neighborhood, the dog is going to freak out over.
There's nothing out there.
There's nothing out there. I know. So, anyways, I tried to speed this up. I want to do this in 5 parts. I decided to get a little bit of a head start because I really want to kind of get things going here. And this here is something that is coming in a package that you're not going to see for a while. But I wanted to get him done because you're going to see him played. And you're going to see some of these other figures played. These are some of the expansions. We're going to be cracking open up the box. We're going to be doing that in part 2 and 3, or 3, 4, and 5. But here is the actual dragon and how he looks when, well, in the book. Now, do we want to go with that? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'll figure things out as I go. I like to change things up as I go, too. Also, let me just move that over there. We are going to be working on a couple other guys here. We've got these, what do they call these? Akaname tongue demons. Well, everybody needs a tongue demon. And we're going to put those together. Also, we've got these guys. We'll see if we can get to them today. And, of course, our stone lions, which we've already kind of got the Mephiston red going, and here we go. All right, listen. Let's not beat around the bush. All right, let's get right to work here, and that's what we're here to do. I'm just going to make one adjustment on my setting, and away we go. I want to make sure that I can see what the heck I'm doing on the thing. I will have to leave y'all soon. About time for me to clock out for the day, says Helen. All right. Here's a paint that we normally don't see, is a P3, and I'm using a jack bone, and we're going to do all our bone work here. But we're also going to use that jack 3 for something else. So I'm just going to show you what I've been doing here. I'm just going to take a little of the jack 3. I'm going to put my head visor down, and I'm going to take this bad boy, and all I'm trying to do is get as close as I can to the edge here. Now, this red here is a Mephiston red, but this is not going to be the final red because we're really going to shade this red out. So what I'm trying to do is get this whole bone structure going. And it's real simple if you just take your time, you have the right type of brush, and just feel comfortable with it. If you miss a spot, don't worry about it. You can always come back to it. That's not a big deal. And like we always tell you, we are here to teach you how to paint. We may not be the greatest painters on the planet or on YouTube or anywhere. We may not even be a good painter, but we can teach you some of the things to do. All right. kind of just a thing that's very relaxing, and anybody can do it. And I really highly suggest you get yourself some brushes and you pick them up and you give it a whirl. You might find that you enjoy painting a real lot. And that's the best thing that we can ever do, is hopefully teach you how to color your world. And it's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Well, guess what? Kabuki's here, so everything's okay, I guess. Now, if you guys don't know, my dear friend, pal, buddy, the great undead Viking himself. Oh, girl, don't bark. I don't know what's going on with you. Hi, Gabby. Gabby's come over to lick me while I'm painting. I have a dog licking my elbow while I paint. Holy moly. And we want to wish Larissa a speedy recovery. She had a spinal tap today, right? That ain't too fun. She's really been struggling with some health issues, but she knows deep in her heart. And by the way, Helen should have got that package by now. Those are my girls, and I trust them with my life for sure. They have done an excellent job keeping us balanced and helping me get back on track and yelling at me when I need to be yelled at, because I'm a guy that is all over the place. And I think that's kind of evident by this channel on how all over the place I am. One minute we're talking board games, next minute we're talking war games. Sometimes we're not even talking games, we're talking electric football. All right. And you see what I'm trying to accomplish here by just getting the base coats on, because what we're going to do is we're going to darken this guy up and then bring him back out. And this is the reason I'm doing this guy is I really want you guys to see how you can take a gray primer and work with it, manipulate it, and take a big figure like this and really apply some great techniques to it. Now, the trick is to never miss any spots, but let me tell you something. You're going to miss spots. I don't care who you are. You're not going to do it all in the first thing. Hi, Mimi.
Hello.
Sorry, folks. I was saying hi to my daughter. She decided to come out of her room. I wonder, she was playing a video game, I bet.
Go do some power washing.
She's going to go do some power washing and help her grandmother out like a good girl. I was going to paint in blue because I've never seen a blue dragon. But I decided to paint him.
Looks good.
Paint him white. Well, he's got a long way to go, Mimi. Thank you. Oh, look who's here. I can feel the dragon's breath from here. Yeah, you bet. It is Miss Tina, whose mom is in for the weekend, which is exciting. So I hope they're having a good time. So I don't know if we're going to be gaming this weekend. I have a feeling that Miss Tina's going to be quite busy. So I might do something solo. And what I was thinking of doing was a card game, because Tina hates card games. But I've really been working with the Google Hangouts, and we've been trying to figure out a few things, and we're getting there. It's a process, just like anything else on this silly, barbaric channel. You know, everybody else, there was an interesting question in the Alaboom last night. And, of course, Lance asked, he goes, what do you think of all these guys that are coming along that have all this fantastic technology and can do all these wonderful things and stuff like that, and you know, how video has really gone, you know, videos have really, the bar has really been raised. It's a long way from the old Rado videos where he's just standing there with his hand cam and just firing away. And I'll tell you something, I'm going to keep doing it the Rado way, because that's the only way I really know. I have no skills whatsoever, and I'm not a video photographer. I try to put stuff on video, but I just think, you know, my thing is just being me, and that's what I'm going to try to sell you guys. Some of you may like it, some of you may not like it. But I can only be me. And I'm the most unprofessional of professional. You know, I was just about to slip and say something that I'm not supposed to say. I was gonna give away something. There's a big announcement coming very soon. I'm just waiting to be able to announce it, and I can't. And I just remembered, and I was just gonna blurt it all out. Oh yeah, that's me. That's me. But I just gotta catch myself every once in a while. So I'm going to turn this guy a little bit more. Oh, okay. This P3 paint is very, very good. I really am enjoying working with this so far. You know, it really just comes down to what paints you enjoy, what ones do you feel comfortable with. Because everything, you know, they may not be that different, but you may just feel and more confident with something. And it really comes down to what is in your mind as far as painting. You know, how does it work for you? Now, some of this red I'm going to have to touch up, that's for sure. Am I still on camera? Yeah, hey, there's a miracle. Nobody knows better than me that a lot of times I float off camera. And right now, my son, I think, is being a jerk. I'm listening to this argument that's going to ensue. Yeah, and that's another thing. Listen, if you think we're going to be sitting in a studio and painting away and things like that, no. It's real life. It's the way you guys do it at home. Maybe you're at a kitchen table. Maybe you have a little den or something. I have a little den. As a matter of fact, you know, they're just, you paint where you can paint. If you remember, a lot of the early videos were on the first thing. Now I'm going to look up, and if who's in here, Kabuki, if you can just let me know if I missed any comments, I'd appreciate that. The girls are busy, and I really want Larissa to rest. I don't need her overworking and overtaxing herself. So if you can help out a little bit, and just, I'll keep an eye on the thing, and if there's some questions. All right, there we go. And all we're trying to do is just get this base coat on, cover up that gray primer, and then we'll go back and we're going to touch everything up and really just kind of get in there, and we'll decide how this is going to go, and you'll see how this all comes together. Ooh, there we go. All right, and if I can, what time is it? Okay, I'm doing all right. 14 minutes. 14 minutes in. I try to keep things to about an hour. Oh my God. You dumb dog. It's your sister, for God's sakes. It's your sister, for crying out loud. And this first coat here is just to cover up that primer. You know, we're going to... Oh my God, what is your malfunction? This is amazing. Yeah, it's just going to be one of those streams. It's just going to be one of those streams. But eventually I'm going to throw all my kids out, and I'm going to eventually have a studio, because there'll be no kids, and I'm just going to overtake a couple of their rooms. Actually, we have a studio, but it's just a little warm out there, and with the lights, I would roast. And I mean, it's cool enough to do it out there. I just don't want to roast. And lately, it's been a little warm here. So all we're just trying to do is just get that first coat on there. We're going to touch all this stuff up eventually, so I'm not too worried about it. Oh, you are a little too far to the right. to the right. Am I right? Okay. So there we go. I think. There we go. Dogs went outside to go bark. These scales are absolutely brutal. And all I'm trying to do is just get this. And I'm going to blend all this in eventually. Alright. I do drift, and that's the problem. I have a problem where I will just start drifting as I paint. And I'm thinking that I'm in front of the camera, and I'm not. And, it's not an easy thing to paint live. I usually make a mark, but when you have a big figure like this, it's not the easiest thing. So all I'm trying to do is just get this somewhat, and then I'll touch it up later. But I think you guys get the logistical idea of what I'm trying to accomplish here. The nice thing about this is the bases have to work, I think. Painting the dragon's easy. All it's going to be, getting the paint on here. And this is going to take a couple episodes to get him where we want to. And it's just taking your time, especially with a big figure that is very visible. So we're just trying to get our base colors on here. And we're going to have to touch things up, I'll be honest with you. And that's just the way it is. And as you can see, as it starts to dry, I kind of take some and just kind of go over the areas that are peeking through. And you can see it starts to sit up a certain way. We're going to have to paint all that black, and there's a lot going on here. So let's get a little of that on there. I'm going to put him aside for a little bit. Okay, we're going to let that dry so I can grab him in certain areas and be able to manipulate a little bit more. So we're going to move him off to the side. These guys here, I know we can whip through these guys with no problem whatsoever. So we're going to use that same color because that color is a really good color. Running Wolf just super chatted. Oh God, thank you so much. I just saw that. Question from Nathaniel Robinson above. Helen, can you re-ask it for me? Running Wolf, thank you so much. That's so kind of you. I really appreciate the super chat. We are taking all the super chat money and we're buying more paints. We are going through paint like there's no tomorrow because that's what we do. We paint a lot on this channel. And we're going to be painting some really incredible stuff that you're going to be seeing. I have a big surprise coming. I think you guys are going to be blown away. Our new program that we're going to be doing, I'm very excited about. It's all about the patrons from this point on. And just making sure, and I'm sorry to those of you that have already gotten your stuff, but I think you're pretty happy that you got your stuff. But the patrons that are still left and that will start working and doing things for next year too, for certain individuals, what we're going to do is we are going to have a show that is dedicated each week to somebody's stuff. I may start it this Monday. It really depends on how much video I can get done this weekend. I am a workaholic, and as so many of you know. Okay, Nathaniel. He applies a wash. Could Rob stop to explain the process? There are too many questions about how to keep them looking clean. I don't understand that. The theme for this set is obvious, very different from the original SOB. Do you mix sets together or do you play each as a standalone? You can mix them together according to the guys at Flying Frog. Yeah, I can. When I get to the washes, I'll show you exactly what I'm going to do, and I'll explain things in detail, Nathaniel. All right, so this guy here, we're just going to get these guys really done pretty quickly. So I'm just going to keep moving here. And again, Running Wolf, thank you so much. It's such a kind thing to do. Thank you. And thank you for supporting us, and hopefully you are subscribed to the channel and enjoy the work that we do. Tomorrow night, I don't know if I'm going to do Nemo's War. It might be tomorrow night or Saturday night, or I just might do something else. I'm really anxious to get Too Many Bones back on the thing, but I think you're going to like what we're going to do with Too Many Bones, because our very dear friend Tina has Too Many Bones, and we're going to play it live together at some point once she gets the chance. She's a very busy girl, so we have to, we're going to have her as long as she can maintain it here. And she has been an asset to this channel more than you can ever know. And plus, she's just doggone popular. We should call it Tina and Rob's Tabletop World. On Discord, many of us laminate that the washes often made models look dirty, requiring too much touch-up work. Who's your models or my models? Listen, nothing in life is, look at my hands. Look how scuffed they are, okay? When you take a wash, okay, and you put it on, it's supposed to bring out, it's supposed to get into the creases. Look how the way light bends and stuff like that. Our hands are not perfect. They are not a perfect particular color. There's different variances. The key to doing a wash, and a lot of times it really depends on what I feel like doing at that point. Now, if I feel that's something what I want is that deep, dark look, I do like the darker look sometimes. But the main idea is to you're going to see it here when I do these guys, okay? These guys we're going to make sure that we get done before we get off the air. So you're going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a wash on them, and then what we're going to do is we're going to build right back out. Okay, and all it is just simple dry brushing half the time, and that is kind of the key there. That just doesn't feel right. I really think some of these creatures should have clothes on. I'm just saying. Good night, Miss Helen. And I wanted to get back to Thursday night painting. If you remember, we were pretty consistent for a while. Convention season is primarily over for me. I think we have a wargaming convention here in Orlando, which, as you know, I enjoy each and every year. And even though there's not a lot of people there when I go, it's one of my favorite things to do. And that is Huracan. Huracan is a very good, a very loyal base that goes to it, and that con will be around for forever. And it's small, it's not big, but there's a lot of heart there, and I enjoy it every year. And I go around and pick it up. We have been trying to figure out how to wash without it looking like it's covered in dirt, or at least I do. Oh, okay. There's a couple ways that you can do that. And these are not the models to do that on, but I will definitely bring that up on a couple of models that we're going to be working on. And that is the Night Coach from Warhammer Fantasy, Age of Sigmar, and also Killzone. Some of the things that we're going to be doing there, I'm going to show you how to do a wash without it making it look extremely dirty. How's that? There's certain ways that you can do it, and there's sometimes that you have to do it, and it may be a little time consuming, but it will pay off in the end. How's that? It would be cool to do Thursday painting with voice chat open. We tried that. Nobody would talk. I couldn't get. We did that with Discord. Right now, I got to rehook that up, or else I would have been on Discord right now. The problem is that I couldn't. We were having a problem with the sound, and I think I just have to reset everything up, and I just haven't had time. Time is my enemy lately, and I don't know why. Usually, time is my friend. All right, let's get these other two guys done. But we will get back to it. But the last time I did this, the last time we went on Discord, we left the open chat room for everybody, and nobody would come in. Nobody would talk. And I think everybody gets a little skittish when you go live, because we were taking questions, and a couple of people would come in and ask some questions and stuff like that, but that's about it. And there you go. So we're just going to keep painting away here, because that's what we do. But Lance and I are going to be doing a paint show, which is going to be a lot of fun. We're also going to be we're working on a big project that I think we'll talk about when we do our miniatures in a movie next week. By the way, speaking of that, dear Lance, he left it up to me to tell you that we are going to move it to Thursday because he's going to be out of town on Friday. It'll normally be on Fridays, but this next one, I'll make sure I put it in the vlog this week, is going to be on a Thursday night. So thanks, Lance, because now I got to stay up real late. And then, so I'm going to do a double painting show. We're going to do next Thursday my show, and then we are going to go over to Lance's show, and we are going to keep painting. So what do you think of that? As we watch the movie Jaws, because that's the one that Lance wanted to watch. I was going to say, let's do 13th Warrior. Let's do Dune. Let's do Godzilla himself. The big guy from 1953, the Japanese version of it. We don't even have to keep the sound on, because you can't understand it anyways. Let's do Gamera. Let's do all kinds of monsters and stuff like that, and just paint things. Well, that's what you're going to see with this particular series. And as you know, Lance can tell the story. He sure can. And I can't wait to announce the other stuff that's going on. I think you guys are going to be absolutely blown away by some of the news that I have to announce coming soon to this little channel that thought it could. And the most important thing is that we just stay small and we stay controlled. The community is the most important thing about this. If the community grows bigger, that's great. But if we get too big and we don't keep in mind the community, that there's no point in this channel. There really isn't. This is a channel that is based on the community. All I am is the face that runs the place. And that's the way I like it. We're going to stay unique. We're going to stay ourselves. Often copied, but never duplicated. Rob's Tabletop World. Boy, that was a pretty good promo. What do you think, guys? I should have taped that one. Also have to thank our wonderful sponsor, Miniature Market, for all they did for us while we were in Gen Con. Just had a great time. Really did. All right, so we're going to let this dry for a second. Oh, look at us. We're just flying along. And keep quiet about it, too. What? Oh, yeah, I got to keep quiet. You're actually, Larissa knows, and Helen knows, and Tina knows. So don't try to plug them. They are well aware of some of the things that are going to be going on here at this little itty-bitty channel. All right, so I'm going to try not to get out of range here. Now, these guys are kind of weird because, well, number one, of how they are. They're mostly gray, but they do have that kind of, it's a dark, I'm going to go with a corn red. Corn red always works. And it is a gray, so we're going to paint this cloak here. And we're going to play with that gray a little bit. Could be worth throttling it. What? No issues on my end, Thaffer. Are we having a problem here? Hold on, let me check. This is where I slow up. How about some old war movies? Oh yeah, those are definitely coming in. Stream is dead. for me. Okay. Could be work throttling it. The big red one is sort of, okay, you guys can still see me, so there's no problem. And it is still live here. Yeah, okay, let's move that up to 1080p so I can see myself. Perfect. Oh boy, I didn't want to see myself in 1080p, that's for sure. I don't even want to see my work in 1080p. Alright, guys, you got to move over. Alright. Larissa, Kabuki, if Kabuki says the stream's fine, then everything is right in the world. Because that's the only person that gets it. Kabuki is the all-knowing, all-encompassing streamer. Or whatever you want to call it. Hold on here. Let's take a look here. I'm looking for a color, guys. Just bear with me. And of course, this thing is sliding, which is annoying the snot out of me. The sun, no, that's too bright. That's too bright. Okay. Why don't you just go down here? Why don't you just find your home? At any moment, Kabuki's going to know what movie that's from. Of course, when I need a particular color, I can't find it. Oh, here we go. There we go. Alright, there it is. I'm pretty sure. Nope. No. Boy. This is stream to forget. Alright, so let's go with... I'm going to have to get some more of this color, I think. Because I'm really... I got enough to get through these guys. Okay, so... Alright, let's put that down. And we're just going to take a little bit of this and a smaller brush, and we're going to get to work here. And all I want to do is I want to keep the gray there, and I want to get this corn red on this cloak. And you're going to see how this guy is really going to come about. And I'm just looking here. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. And we're going to just work around here and just there we go. Now, one of the things that you had to do was glue his head a certain way, and as you can see, his head popped out, but that's okay. We're not going to worry about that now because I was holding his head too tight. And all I want to do is make sure that I get this cloak exactly the way I want it, and we'll glue his head back on. These are sometimes the easiest models, the ones that you think are going to be the easiest are the hardest ones from Flying Frog. And I mean that with the utmost respect, believe me. This dragon was a pain in the neck to put together. I did it during an Alaboom. Taffer, did you prime those in gray? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. I primed them in gray. And oh my God, this dog. She's just incredible lately. What it is she just looks outside and is consistently. She doesn't like squirrels, but if she wants to play with them, that's the worst part. So she barks to try to get them to come to the house. When she barks, the squirrel does not want to come to the house. We've determined that. Squirrels do not want to be dogs' friends. Now, you think she would figure this out, but no, not my dog. My dog keeps inviting the squirrels over. So what do the squirrels do? They climb up on the pool cage. What do? They try to rip the screen. I'm not too happy with the squirrels. Okay? Even though some of my friends their mascot for their channel is a squirrel. Yes, the podcast Rolling Dice and Taking Names. Say hi to those guys if you get a chance. They love hearing from you. And they are good guys. See? And they are also part of the Miniature Market Network. Which, woohoo! How can you go wrong? Alright. So. Alright. That's not too bad. Cleaning up some of the area there. And I got to get around his waist. Warband is coming in September. I got to talk to Christian Peterson. Not Christian Peterson. Oh, excuse me. I forgot his last name. He is at Osprey, and they are getting some really nice models for Frostgrave in September, and they're going to send me the entire line to paint. So I think you guys will enjoy that. I really do. I think it'll be a lot of fun, because we like to do fun stuff here. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to put that guy there, and meanwhile, these guys should almost be dry. Almost. And we're going to come over here. Hopefully his head doesn't pop off, because I'd like to at least get one of these guys where I can show you where. Well, it's not going to matter because we're not going to finish these guys. But what we will be doing is getting this prepped up, and we're gonna go through this game pretty quick because I want to get this game to the table very quickly. The guys over at Flying Frog, I want to do them justice because they are just great people. And we also have Fortune and Glory that we're going to be doing, which I've tried to talk Tina into playing, so we'll see how that goes. Would you guys like to see Tina and I do Fortune and Glory? We're going to leave that up to you guys. We have all the expansions too, by the way. So it's just a matter of, if the community wants to see it, we will do it. I will set a time and I will make her do it. We also have a big surprise that her and I are going to be doing. We are planning down the road. I can say it. If everything goes well, we are going to do Fallen Lands together. Because she's going to have a copy of the game. We are actually going to do some really neat stuff. We're going to actually play the game live together over Google Hangouts, and we might invite one of you on a Saturday afternoon. What do you think of that? We're always thinking here. It might be trickier than the Dragon Dice game, but I say do it. Oh no. I've got it all figured out. Oh, Fortune and Glory? Did you mean Fortune and Glory or the other one? Same here. Jedi Jim. Not yet. He's going to when he applies one. What? He has touched on it in the past, I think. He usually goes back over the dirty wash with a lighter tone. Yeah, I'll dry brush because I don't want to lose that thing, and I'm going to show you in a minute. Hold on. Matter of fact, we're gonna, after I finish this cape, let's just go into it. Let's make this more of a lesson than anything else. How's that? All right. And I enjoy doing that. It's all about the community that watches this. You know, people that watch this later are probably like, "What the heck? This is dumb. Thumbs down." By the way, make sure you thumbs up. I love Fortune and Glory. If Kabuki loves it, then we have to do it. What do you think, Kabuki? I would invite Kabuki to do it, but I'll be honest with you, she would not come on Google Hangouts. It would ruin the mystique. She would have to come on and have a picture of something in place of her face, because there's only one person that I think has ever seen her, and that's Anthony. Her legend must remain intact. Alright, so. And I'll look up in a minute, hold on. Okay, come on. Alright, there we go. Alright, so I got 2 of these guys started at least. So I'm not worried about this. He likes the questions and interaction. Yes, I do. I do with that. Alright, let me just do something real quick here. Why is my phone a buzzing? Oh, okay. Here we go. Alright, so we were talking, you guys were asking a question, so hold on. I got some glue here. Let me just glue this guy's head on in the meantime. Alright, so I just want to put a little glue on here. Now, you're probably asking, what glue do you use? I use Loctite super glue. I really like this stuff. Alright, so, whoops, hold on here. Let's go. You guys go back here. You guys go back here. And today we're just kind of doing a lot of base coats on some of these models. Off camera, I will make sure that I get, okay, there we go. There we go. I will get everything finished up. The next one will be a lot more informative. But since we really do have a chance to goof around and do whatever the heck we want, because after all, I mean, let's call it what it is. It's my channel. If I decide to do it this way, we'll do it this way. Okay, so we're going to take a Reichland. No, you know what? We're going to go a little bit darker, because I want to show you how we bring that back. I want to show you how we bring it back. So I really want to kind of go a Agrath Earth Shade. There we go. Because that's really what we're looking for here. Now, let's see, where is he? Okay, you see him where he is right there? I'm not going to worry about his neck thing. I'll go back over that later. But we're going to fill this in, and I'm going to show you how I want to do it. I don't want him as dark as that particular picture. Hold on, let me make sure that you guys saw that. Okay, as you can see, that's him pre-based. But you see how dark that is? That's really dark. Now, do I want that dark? Well, maybe not. But I'm going to show you how to... Oh, easy there, big boy. Stop. All right, here we go. So we're going to shake this really good. Alright. And we are going to take our Agrath Earthshade. And we're going to really just... Oh yeah, look at that. Look what that does. Now, what is this shade doing? Okay? It's really just kind of... You got to move it around. You got to take your brush, and if you see there, see how, and I understand what you're saying by the dirty look. It gives you this very dirty look compared to this. Okay, let's try to zoom in a little bit. How's that? Okay, so here we are. We're at here with this, and it's puddling up a little bit, but we have a brush where we're going to move this around. It's going to be the same thing that we're going to do here. Oh, you can't see that because I zoomed in. But you can see on the other side. Okay, that's fine. So we're going to get this in here, especially on this guy here, because we want to make sure that we get that in there. You're going to move it around, and in about 15 minutes it'll dry, and then I'll show you how we're going to get that lighter. But and how we don't want to lose certain things, aspects of it. Now, this cloth thing over here, or the hair, we'll worry about that later. We're not worried about that. Okay. So I'm just going to do this one guy, and I'm going to show you again, just so we'll do one more guy. How's that? Just take a little bit here, get it in his eye socket, because you really want it to kind of sit in there. and we'll move him off to the side here, and we're going to let him dry. Now, right now, he's at that stage that you say that he's really, really, really dirty, but it's sitting in the recesses, and that's what we want. We want that to sit in the recesses, and we want that to dry like that. That's what this wash is made to do. So again, we're just, some people call it liquid talent, but it's shading without having to sit there with a little detail brush and try to paint it all in. And that's the whole point of having a shade. You know, let's face it, we are essentially, some of us are modelers, yes, that's true, but a majority of us are just board gamers. Okay, we're not buying these to just have them in dioramas. We want to play with these things, so you want to get them done quickly, efficiently, and you want them to look decent. You want them to be thematic. You want to have these things go on the table and feel as if they are part of whatever game you are playing. Question on washes: how do you decide which wash to use? Well, I know the spectrum of them. So for flesh, I want to use a Reichland flesh shade that kind of gives a lighter, pinker type of shadow, but a brown, kind of like your hand. Okay, let's back out a little bit here. See, the same thing can be said for the big boy here. Okay, so let's take a look at his tail. All right. We're going to want to do the same thing. And I'm just going to use this small brush. But by doing that, it's, what's it doing? Yeah, it's darkening it up. But we're going to bring it back out too. So I'm just going to kind of work this in here. And the other thing about this particular shade, we're going to be using this on the red. So that's why it works so well, is because it's a particular shade that is going to darken both colors. And this is where we're going to get some depth on this dragon, and I'll show you right here. Okay, see how that's sitting and fitting into his scales? Now, this isn't the brush I want to use for this, but I'm going to turn this so you guys can see what I'm talking about. See how that's sitting in those scales? I want that to get in there. I want that to get along the lines. I want that type of depth along here. I want this to kind of run down and catch in certain areas. See how it's forming a line along there? That's exactly what I'm looking for, because it's going to make it dirty, that's true. Whoops. And you can always take the brush and move this around. Okay, and I'm just doing this right now, just to show you some of the things that we are talking about here. See how quickly it moves, but look what it does to the scales. All right. Oops, I gotta turn that. You see what we're getting here compared. Whoops, boy, I'm a mess. Compared to over here and how we're really filling in detail here. We're really just doing it. Now, the different types of washes, and just to get back to the question, I apologize for getting off base, but I do tend to bounce all over the place, is all we're trying to do is match up colors. So you'll see how they go. They have blues, they have yellows, they have things, and you're going to match those to the same colors that you're painting. Now, a brown and a red go together because they kind of fill each other in. Okay, let's do that. You know, where a black can be used on anything. Like we could take new oil, which is a black wash, and we can work that all in through here, and it still look pretty good. Using a crimson wash, orange and purple on the giant worm rider. Yeah, you can use. I can even use a red wash on here if I wanted to, but you know, because the area that I'm going to be covering, I might just go Agrath Earthshade. It really depends on what I feel like doing at that particular moment, to be honest with you. All right. And remember, there's no real blueprint here. You're just painting what you feel, what you think, what you see in your mind. And I think that's the most important thing that you could do, is just paint things that you see inside your head. Of course, that could be kind of deadly when you're talking about me, right? Because I have some really strange things in my head. And when the queen agrees, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Well, you guys know what time it is. It's time for the Hallmark Channel to come on. No? Holy cow. I'm shocked. Now, right here, I'm just taking what is called a Screamer Pink. Now, the reason I'm taking this dark color is I want to use this dark color to basically bring out that tongue. But we're going to go over this, and we're just not going to leave it this color. You could, and it would be perfectly fine. You really could. But you can dry brush it and shade this and really bring some really neat details out of our friend here. Isn't he nice and gross? Yes. Let's see if we can get this done while he's drying, which is fine. I just want to be a little careful over here. Okay, there we go. Just so you guys can get a little bit of idea of what's going on here and how this is going to look when it's done. What time do we have? Not too bad. Okay, we got about another 25 minutes, because I have things I have to take care of. So as you can see, we're just really... Boy, wait till you see some of the things that we're going to be painting in the next month. I really think that you guys are going to be blown away. And I was just thinking in my head how many figures that's going to be. It doesn't matter. It's as long as we're enjoying ourselves and as a community and just coming together. Okay, thanks. And MGK, what if we don't have a wash of specific color tone? What is your experience with watering regular paint down and using it as wash? I don't do that. Paint is made up of 3 components. Okay, let's just talk acrylic. There is the pigment, water, and then I believe another thing, a dye or something like that. Those 3 things. If you put too much water, it's kind of like if I'm trying to think how to do this. Here's how it works. Okay, and here's water, here's pigment, here's the other thing. Well, if one takes over too much, you start to lose the other. And having that balance, you can't really do it. Now, you can make your own washes, but you would need an ink to do that. Thinning down a paint will break the paint down and not make it a wash. I still don't understand what... Okay, well, I try to match it up per color. There are washes, and I have a ton of washes, that if I have a red wash, if I'm painting red, I will use a red wash. Okay, if I am painting something green, I'll use a green wash, because I want to darken down that color. I don't want to lose the color. I want to darken it down, and I want to get in all those recesses. So it creates what is light and shadows. Washes create detail. And what is detail, basically? It's light and shadows. Okay? By giving depth to a model. And that's what a wash does. So a wash, primarily a black wash, can be used with just about any other kind of thing. I think they call it, the third thing, a binder. Thank you. That's what it was. Sorry. I haven't done that 101 in a while. But you may see it again very soon. Hint, 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 hint. I wonder what's going on. Don't you? Me too. What is Rob up to? Okay, I'm not saying anything else. I'll jinx it. So when you add too much water, you're going to break down the binder. You're going to break down the pigment. And too much water will actually break those things down, and it wouldn't become a wash. So you can't just do that. There's actually a very good video out there on how to make a wash. You can make your own homemade washes. And they're very quite easy to do. I've done it before and they come out pretty decently. But you're probably just better off going and buying one, to be honest. Alright, so we did that. That's good. Alright. So, let's do this. Alright, let's get back to our dragon. No, we're gonna. Well, yeah, we can do a little more dragon work while we're waiting for this to dry a little bit. How's that sound? Sounds about right. And groovy thing. Well, thanks, Rob, for the explanation. You're welcome, Tafford. Why didn't I have the money? I used black paint. When I didn't, I used black paint water, and some PVV glue. It worked okay. There was a tutorial online. Yeah, see, I just don't know how to do some of that stuff. I always getting calls when I am watching the live stream. Miniature Market has some good washes at great prices. Hey, look at the girls working. We're going to have to put you guys on the payroll soon. Oh, look at this monster. Look at this monster. Alright, so now we are going to kind of just do a little bit of that. Alright. And just kind of work that in there. There we go. Come on. There we go. And all we're trying to do is get that area there. Okay, I'm off. I know. Don't say it. You know why? Because these guys are over here. So I will. Alright. Alright, so we want to continue on over here. And I really want to kind of. And we'll show you how this looks after our base coat, and we will be doing all kinds of things. Listen, we are going to be really getting into the Forbidden Fortress. I'm really looking forward to it. We're going to do a whole paint series on it, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy the box set. We're going to crack open the box for our next episode, and I will give you the highlights of what happens with the rest of these particular figures. And maybe we'll go a little bit longer because we really need to get to the base box set and get you guys going, because what's the most important thing is we have to get this game going. And I am looking forward to playing it very soon. I think we can have it done by next weekend. And hey, why not, right? Why not do it up big time? I love Shadows of Brimstone. One of my favorite games. We've got so many great figures already painted for it. And this is just probably... And we have so many special things for this, but I really don't want to play with the special things because I just don't know what's going to go retail and how soon. And I really don't want to make anybody mad, to be honest with you. Because, you know, I went to Gen Con and I bought one of these things. These were on sale there. Well, they weren't on sale, that's for doggone sure. But they were available. There was not a lot of them available. Look at that scratch mark in there. Now, this is one of those things that when we put this wash over this, you're going to see what I'm talking about. Okay, oh, that kind of leaked over there. And we're just going to do this. Okay. And I want to be able to do this. And get all that. And like I said, I'm gonna have to go over a lot of this because there is a lot going on with this particular model. But like I said, we're just getting the base coat on, but the real fun is when we detail him. And that's when he starts to come to life. It's a funny thing when you start doing this and you get kind of discouraged maybe and go, oh wow, he doesn't look that good. Well, when we start adding highlights and things like that, you're going to see how he really just starts to kind of come together. It's kind of like a puzzle. It doesn't look like anything until you start putting the final pieces on. And that's where the fun becomes, because then you have this sense of accomplishment. And it's such a great feeling when you paint something for yourself and you're able to get it done. It really does. It means something to you. It's important to you. And it becomes personal. It really does. Oh, if it isn't the Jarl. The Jarl. Okay, that there is something I dripped on there, and we'll take care of that later. You're going to make mistakes. It's just, how do you go about? Do you panic over a mistake? Nope. Oh, I gotta put my helmet down. That's why I can't see anything. I'm like, God, I'm struggling today. And then I realized that I don't have my visor down because I'm so busy yakking. Okay. This is just not something I'm going to be able to show on camera, so just bear with me. Something I can do later, that's for sure. But like I said, we just want to get an hour in today, and then we're, setting off and preparing you guys and doing some base colors on here, giving you guys an idea, and actually accomplishing something like we're going to show you and teach you a little bit of something here in a minute. Let me just get this on here. See, once you get in a groove, you want to kind of keep going with something sometimes. And I'm always like that. There we go. All right. All right. And we are almost there. Boom, boom, boom. And here. Whoops. And that's how you make a mistake. It slipped in my hand and I moved. But, it's okay. Because mistakes are made to be fixed. Everybody makes mistakes, especially live. That's why a lot of people don't like to paint live. Because they want to show how good they are. Me? I'm just a hack. Let's just call it what it is, huh? All right. One thing I notice is Rob is not using please, with the wet palette. You don't have to use a wet palette if you don't want to. If I want to paint thin, I'll paint thin. Some paints you have to thin down if they're thick, especially if you had them for a while. And I try to keep things easy and very simple. And that's why we don't go into wet palettes and things like that, because it's intimidating. Listen, when you were a kid and you were painting your models back in the 70s and 80s, how many times were you using a wet palette? Okay, listen, wet palettes are fine. They do a lot of great things and stuff like that. For me, I just don't have time to sit here with a wet palette. Usually I'm painting thousands and thousands of figures. Okay, I also keep my brush wet. I use this where I'll keep a little water on here and I'll thin paints down. As you can see, I've thinned a ton of paints down. That's just my style. It doesn't mean I'm right. I'm just trying to show you what to do, and quickly. And we're just doing base paints, so it's really not an important thing. And it's not going to make a difference on this particular guy for sure. Okay, he's almost dry, believe it or not. So there you go. Did you get a chance to check out the new Monster Apocalypse game? I saw it, I walked by it, I just didn't get a chance. You better keep it simple since you are painting 15,000 minis a year. Yeah, I do. Testers in the 70s, that's a perfect example. Exactly. There was only testers in Tamagotchi, or I forgot what the other paint was. In the 80s, wet palettes were wood structures left out in the rain. Yeah, that's exactly it. It does make a difference if you want to thin your paints, especially with highly detailed things. But you'll see me do that. I just do it differently. I don't sit here with these all unique things and this, that, the other. I am just out painting, getting coverage. And then when you notice, you'll see I still get the same detail. But the thing is that what I'll do is I'll be able to, when I go into my details, that's when you see I'll use a little bit more water and I'll thin things out. So there you go. It's also so your paints don't dry if you're mixing paints. That's what a wet palette really is for. So, it's a funny thing. I always try to tell people, I go, if you're going to watch this channel and you're an expert painter, you know what? Go someplace else. There's plenty of great painters out there. Here, I'm just trying to get people to paint. Pick up a brush, keep it basic, keep it simple. And I don't think my stuff looks that bad. That's for doggone sure. When I can do this in 2 hours before going to Gen Con, I'm not complaining with what I do. That's for sure. Puggers. I guess he's hungry. Okay, so let's see if this is dry enough to do this. Okay, so now you see how dark he is. Okay, that's not what you're looking for. Okay, maybe we just let it sit a little bit longer. What time? 6:07. It's palette, not palette. Kabuki again. I don't hear very well, so I don't hear myself talk that well. And it's not the easiest thing. There's no reason I should be on a channel. Rob is in Florida. No shortage of moisture there. Always have problems sounding things out. Let's see here. Alright, so I just want to touch this up a little bit because I noticed it and it was driving me crazy. Also want to get that other guy there. What's Pugger's problem? Good old Puggers. Alright, these guys I think we're going to save for next time. These guys we're going to work on next time. You'll see what we're doing as we're going to kind of put these two there. Played mechs versus minions today. Oh, I got you, Kabuki. Really wanted to paint the. Oh, yeah, you can paint them. They're so easy and they're not that hard. They're a lot of fun. I painted that entire set. So we got those. We got our dragon kind of going. We're going to be working in these guys here. Next time, we're going to start breaking open the box and we're going to put that all together. We're going to do a lot of things and really start things. You're going to see things come together. I'm just waiting for this to just dry a little bit more. Now, let's give it a go. At worst. Now, this is called a dry brush. Now, you saw that we used this color here. And actually, this is kind of a good exercise here. This is Jack Bone, okay, with P3. Well, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go over to another color that's almost similar to it. But the thing is, and again, we are going to take and shake these two together. All right. And I am going to take just a touch of this white. I'm going to put it right there. And I'm actually going to take a little bit of water and put it right in there. Okay? And then I'm going to take the paint off here. Now, I know what you're saying. What are you doing, Rob? Come on, man. Now we're going to take a little bit of the Ushabi bone and we're going to kind of bring that together a little bit. Okay, there we go. Just going to close that up. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Now you see how much lighter that is. All right. Now I'm going to come over here and I'm going to take it just about all off this brush. Alright. So now, and I always tell you guys this. First of all, you got the bottom here. See, that's a little still too much there. That's why you got the bottom of these things. Nobody's going to look at the bottom. Anyways, you're going to paint this base anyway, so. And all I want to do is just take this brush very lightly. And I'm just going to kind of glide over it. I'm going to just very lightly just touch the upper musculature and just hit some of these higher areas. Now watch what I do in the face here. Now this thing, his hair is going to be dark, but look, all of a sudden he's coming to life here. Okay, let me zoom in here so you guys can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay, there we go. Okay, and let's turn them around so you guys can see it again. And we're just taking, and it's like tickling it. All right, I always say it's always like tickling with a feather, and all you're doing is just using that brush and going over it very lightly. Now look at, watch what happens to his head. Look how that all comes. See, even Bella likes it. Bella's like, oh man, that's really nice. I'm gonna bark a little bit. And you see how his face starts to come out? You see what we're getting here? Now it doesn't look as dirty as when you put that wash on, because we've built outwards. We're building out. And that's all we're trying to accomplish. And then these guys are going to be like perfect once we get their hair done, and then we're going to do the same thing here a little bit. You can almost take this color and do the same thing to his tongue if you wanted to. You don't have to just limit it. Any kind of lighter color is going to bring depth to this guy. And do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see how that really starts to just sit up? Whew. Boy, it's like I know what I'm doing. And it's moments like that things just kind of come together. And you want to take your brush, you want to get it in there and work it in there. It's nice and dry, and you're dry brushing away. All right. So, oh, sorry. So you see what we did here. It doesn't look as dirty. All right. And it actually brings out depth. Where, trying to do this so you guys can see. You see the difference? You see what I'm talking about? We're able to keep the depth. We're able to keep everything all together here. Where here, this is when you're doing the wash and you go, well, this looks pretty good because the wash is filling in the gaps. But how can I make the wash more effective? I'm going to just dry brush over it and not lose the detail that the wash gave me. And I'm going to take and just make this, really have stand out. You see how his muscles now are defined, but they're defined because the wash sits in there. But we're able to take just a nice mixture of colors and just come over the top. Look how his eye works. Okay, we can turn that either way, and there's depth in his skull there. He looks evil. Plain and simple. All right, I hope that answers one of the questions that you guys had. See, Bella likes it. She really likes it.
Bella come.
But that's Bella. Bella's Bella. Notice how Gabby's good. I think I need to do some paint therapy tonight. Well, there you go. Remember to wash your brushes, most of all. All right, guys, listen. I'm very excited to say that this was the first of at least five parts. This one was just going to be a quick one. It was only going to be an hour. Next one we'll do like 2 or 3 hours, and you guys can sit through, and we're really going to crank it out. And I'm just going to turn on the camera while I'm doing my painting. And if people want to watch it, that's great. If they don't, you're more than welcome to just come here and talk amongst each other and with everybody. Next one, I'm going to have the Discord. So if you are on our Discord, you can ask questions while I'm painting, which will make it a lot easier, and I'll be able to paint a lot faster. And the girls will be on giving their opinions and all the other things and asking questions and stuff like that. Listen, I had a great time. We got some base colors on Big Boy here. You're gonna see how he's gonna come together too, and we're gonna just have a great time. You're gonna see how all these guys are just gonna come together, and you're gonna go, wow, I can't wait to play that game. And Rob, when you're gonna get it to the table? Well, we got to paint it, because God knows I can't play a game unless it's painted, because after all, this is Rob's tabletop world, and I'm known for painting, and you can't play games that aren't painted. So, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm always happy. Thanks for the super chats. It means a lot. And you guys are the best. I always have a great time when I do this, and I really always feel very good when I'm done with a paint session, because there's just a great satisfaction of spending time with you guys. With that said, until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon.